Balotelli, Aguero!
Hi everybody, welcome to MCFC 9320 Group TV. Wow, what a performance from the Blues today. 4-1 winners away to Liverpool. An incredible scoreline. You know, people all pick through the bones, especially the media, and start citing, oh yeah, but Alisson give them, you know, two goals. Not at all. Our pressurising made these kind of mistakes happen. Gundogan's penalty, I'm sure that's still in orbit somewhere. Very, very unlike a German to miss a penalty, as England fans will know. So many positive today. I thought Zinchenko, who was my man of the match, was unbelievable in the second half. So great performances from Phil Foden. I thought Raheem Sterling did quite well with all his tracking back and stuff. Yeah, he'll still be thought about as running into dead holes and stuff like that. Yep, I can get that. But so many brilliant performances. I thought fair play to Pep Guardiola today. I thought him changing it round at half time and putting Bernardo, who also had a fantastic game. I thought Bernardo down the middle and Phil Foden on the right was genius, and no wonder he's classed as a genius, because who'd have thought with an established number 9 in Gabriel Jesus on the bench, he opted to go for that in particular in the second half. Just after the final whistle, I caught up with a few of the guys from the group, and this is what they had to say. Hi everybody, welcome to MCFC 9320 Group TV. What a fantastic result tonight for City. 4-1 away winners at Liverpool. Tonight we've got Anne-Marie from the group. We've also got Stanislav, Alexander, Stuart, and also Paul Risby. Welcome, guys. We'll go to you first, Paul. What's your thoughts on the match?
Well, absolutely buzzing, mate. I mean, I kind of lost interest in football a little bit this season, but my excitement and the love of the game has just come back in 90 minutes. It was absolutely amazing. Totally loved doing them dippers. I ate them, so it was brilliant.
What's your thoughts on the first half performance?
You know what? I think that was the plan. I think he set up to basically. They didn't come at us as much as I thought he thought they was going to do. So I think they kind of lulled them into a false sense of security. Us getting that goal, I think, threw them a little bit. And then obviously, I mean, the ballerina that is Mo Salah, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, I thought for the penalty, you know, spoke about this just before we went on air. For somebody to pull somebody back and for him to go forward like a dolphin, you know, I still question whether it was a penalty, but
go on. I can only imagine that there's be a lot of the Great Britain gymnast coaches will actually be redoing how they train now, because they need to get whoever's coaching them at Liverpool, they need to get him in, because he's defying gravity, that man.
He's like an Ashley Young with a wig, isn't he? Really. Anne-Marie, give us your thoughts on the match so far. On the match tonight.
Well, I was delighted with the win, but I knew we'd win. I said it. I called it on air weeks ago. I said we'd win at Anfield. I did indeed.
I think we've deleted that.
Well, you might have done, yeah, because you're selective like that, aren't you?
No. So yeah, what's your thoughts? You know, from
I thought we played well. I'm disappointed again that we can't seem to score a penalty. I think it's crazy that we can't even get it on target, and it's not the first time. So I do wonder sometimes what we're doing in training.
No,
but I thought
it could have been a make or break penalty, that as well, couldn't it?
Well, it could have been. I mean, look at Mahrez a couple of seasons ago. You know, we're still searching for that ball, aren't we?
In fact, Gundogan's, I've just been informed it's just landed on my car windscreen and smashed it. So it's still in mid. It was still in mid-flight. I don't know what it is.
Federal Bank have just found it.
Yeah, I just don't know what it is, Anne-Marie. With penalties, it's like you say. I'd personally, I'd have let Foden take it because he's got no fear, you know, and it's just something about, like we had De Bruyne early on in the season, was it, when he missed a penalty against them as well? Who would you have taken penalties, Anne-Marie?
Well, I think, we've had this conversation in the group last season because it happened a lot last season. I'd give Ederson a go. Because what have we got to lose?
Well, if a goalkeeper saves it, they'd be straight on the attack, wouldn't they? So I can understand.
Kyle Walker in net.
He's got to be on the pitch first, though, Paul.
Yeah, no, but if he's on the pitch.
Stanislav, welcome. What's your take on the game tonight?
Thank you. Well, I think that the first half we didn't create almost anything besides the penalty situation. We controlled the game pretty well. Unfortunately, we didn't have any shot on target, including the penalty. It was really frustrating. However, the second half, we just destroyed them. I mean, Gundogan redeemed himself twice. Phil Foden made an incredible impression, and all in all, it was phenomenal. Phenomenal second half, and I'm really happy that we broke this curse.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, do you think that the difference was made with the halftime tweaks where he seemed to put Foden more outright and bring Bernardo more centre, like a 4-4-2?
Yeah, especially the Foden switch. He was absolutely phenomenal. He was crucial to this game, and he was all over the place, as well as Bernardo. Bernardo was also great work rate in the first half, even though he didn't receive the ball a lot in the first half, but he was just all over the place. And I'm really happy that we managed to pull through, because I was really stressed during this game. First, missing that penalty was a disaster. That was such a bad penalty take. But then in the second half, something magically happened. We just crushed them, completely. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, Stuart, what's your thoughts on the changes? What Pep made at half time?
Well, I think personally, the first half, he used Klopp's words, because Klopp's been banging on about how tired they've been. So I think it was just a case of keep the ball, keep shifting it. It was side to side, but they're burning energy. And he knew that if he wound them down the second half, they'd all be tired. And then you go for it. I think Foden going out wide totally changed the game.
Yeah.
Sterling is becoming as frustrating as Mahrez for me. I've seen a lot of people saying he was close to being man of the match. He just runs at people and he runs into them.
I fought for the penalty, and there was a bit late on in the game where he was running into the penalty area, and that's what Sterling does the best. But I agree with you, when he's just running, it's like he's running into a brick wall constantly. But yeah, my eyebrows was raised a little bit when he was being considered for the man of the match. I thought he was way off.
I think his goals gets him out of trouble, really, because if he wasn't getting them tap-ins, I think Torres would be starting more.
Well, I thought defensively Sterling was very good tonight. There was a few times when he was back on our 18-yard box, and he was winning balls there.
I never question his work rate. His work rate is phenomenal. Yeah, that's not my issue with Sterling. With Mahrez, for me, he doesn't put it in. But with Sterling, you can't fault his work rate.
No, absolutely, Paul. But Paul, with the way the game was going, do you think the tactics what Pep did was good? Like Stuart's touched upon, we've seemed to wait for the Liverpool players to start getting tired. I thought there was a lot of petulance from the Liverpool players tonight as well.
Yeah, I mean, there was that one with Terence Trent D'Arby where he went in and on Alisson, on the other Brazilian keeper. That's Liverpool, though, isn't it? They're a little version of their manager, and their manager's the same as them. The snidey, the little, Salah, Mane, they all do it. Every single one of them is a snidey player. From early doors, targeting Gundogan straight, straight from the kickoff. Thiago tried, taking him out of the game. That's what they are. I mean, they're full of excuses, and at the end of the day, they got battered today. Pep's tactics was spot on. He drew him into that false sense of security. And to be honest with you, I'm disappointed it wasn't 5 or 6 or even 7 today. It could have been a lot more.
Yeah, well, if you take, I thought there was a penalty on Foden, the penalty we missed, the John Stones one. Why didn't they show that on VAR for some bizarre reason?
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree with it. They was there for the taking. But what worried me a little bit was that we let them back in. We seemed to let them, like, we played well for the first 20 minutes, and we seemed to just let them back into the game with a passing. But what was impressive was the work rate, what we had, including Sterling, etc., where he was chasing back, and we was winning the ball. Because although Phil Foden was brilliant in the second half, I still don't think in the first half he was anywhere near where he could be, and I think that's because of the position what Pep played him in the first half.
Totally agree.
Yeah, totally.
I think Bernardo as well. His work rate is just, it always seems to go unnoticed. He never stops. He just seems to pop up everywhere.
Yeah, he's like a mole. He just seems to come out the ground and he chase chip wrappers and stuff like that. And Marie, a lot's being spoken about on the post match about it'd be a different story if Alisson wouldn't have boo-booed with a couple of our goals, but I don't agree with that, because I thought our chasing and hurrying them that contributed in us making him make them errors. What's your thoughts?
I'd completely agree with that, and I think it's something that Liverpool have done themselves in the past with Ederson, putting him under pressure when he's trying to clear the ball, and this time it's worked in our favour. I think we did it really well, and it's one of the key parts of our game that's improved in the last few months. It wasn't there at the start of the season. Yeah,
totally agree. Stanislav, a little there was a little laugh. I think it was during the first half where Liverpool got a free kick. Zinchenko laid down like a draft excluder, and Diaz turned around and lifted him up by his head to move him. Did you catch that one?
Oh yeah, of course. It was a remarkable scene. Well, Ruben Diaz proved himself to be a leader of the defense, and I just feel sorry for the stupid mistake he made. But I mean, he's a human. And regarding your opinion that it wasn't a penalty, I think it was definitely a penalty. Salah overreacted, of course, but it was a foul. I mean, it was clear foul to me at least, and he was happy that he got the yellow card because he could have been sent off. But anyway, Stones also made a very good game. Cancelo was perfect in the first half, I think. Yeah, I mean, Diaz, he's a human, but I can forgive him.
Yeah. Alex, do you think Pep had the advantage over Klopp, sort of like even before the match, with like the press conference and stuff like that, where he just seemed to get in his head a little bit about the way Klopp was coming out and, pretty much like one of the old, the Rafa facts, the way he went off his head. I thought Klopp was a milder version of that, and I think that helped our team today, knowing that they was rattled. It was on about being tired, etc.
Honestly, I didn't watch any press conferences, especially not Klopp press conference. I saw some stupid stuff from him on Twitter that he was talking about, being tired, and City had, I don't know, 2 weeks to rest. Not interested in that. So I think we had an advantage, but in the sense of that we're really playing fantastic football, for the past for the past couple of months, we are just smashing it, and they're just coming off a loss against Burnley, right? So was it Burnley or some other team? I can't remember.
Brighton.
Burnley and Brighton. That's the first time since I can't remember not where they've lost.
1963.
I bet you remember that well.
She was there.
No, great.
You're pushing it today, Andy.
Great facts that, Anne-Marie. That's the first time since then that Liverpool have lost 3 at home.
Yep. Since Bill Shankly.
Yeah. Yep. Stuart, I just think it was incredible the way we set up and basically played them un-City-like, really, because we're starting to see City play like this way at the moment, where because we've not got an out-and-out striker. I was surprised to see Jesus on the bench and us play with a false 9, as it were. Do you think this is baffling everybody we're playing, because we don't know the way we're playing?
Personally, I think with Liverpool having 2 midfielders at centre back, it made more sense to play no striker, because they're playing an unfamiliar role. If they're normally, they would mark a striker and it would make their job easier. But when you're a midfielder playing at centre back and you don't know the role, and you've got all these midfielders and running at you, you don't know who to mark because they're interchanging. I think it's hard enough for a centre back, but when you're a midfielder playing in a centre back's role, I think it was spot on decision to not play Jesus.
Yeah, I can understand that, because Jesus' work rate's never in question. I thought when he come on, he was pretty good. Performance-wise, I can't fault any City player tonight. And with Paul, we've finally been rewarded with a bit of recognition. Do you think it'll be a recognition in the media from later on in the evening and the days going on? Or will they contribute it that Liverpool were poor? They gifted us 2 goals through Alisson.
Yeah, it will be.
Paul.
Sorry. No, we'll get no credit at all. They were making excuses. Tyler and the girls in the studio with him, they were all making excuses. Like the Alisson was terrible. He's not been well. He's just coming back from having a cold, and his feet might have been cold. And was that not the same at the other end for our keeper? It's pathetic. No, that we'll get no credit for it. I mean, for the last 10 minutes of the game, they were Tyler and Ilk were just making excuses for Liverpool having a bad day. Have they not watched this season? Have they not watched last season? Have they not seen what's going on? We're head and shoulders above anybody else tactically and skill-wise in that league. Head and shoulders. We just don't have a level playing field with the strange decisions that go around us. Once we take that out of it, we'll beat everybody every week, and that's why they brought it in, to nullify our skill level.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth in that, because with the John Stones offside goal, how come they didn't even show that on VAR?
They showed you it live, and I think they showed you a quick replay. There was no VAR, there was nothing as far as I was concerned. The penalty, that was amazingly quick to say it was a penalty. It happens week in, week out. It's not just us, I hasten to add. I mean, you looked at some of the stuff that happened yesterday in the games, and probably today as well. I've not seen them, but there will have been VAR that's ruining the spectacle for us spectators.
The elbow.
Oh yeah, Joe.
So, as Paul said, it's not just against City. So it's also with VAR. They're changing the rules mid-season as well, which I don't understand. I thought they have to implement rules at the end of each season. And Marie, so on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put City's overall performance tonight?
Probably, and I'm probably being harsh, but an 8.
An 8?
I agree.
Yeah.
And who was your man of the match?
Foden.
Foden. I'm gonna just jot these down.
Was it going to be a prize at the end of the season?
Hey, well, as everybody can see, there's a thread on the in our group where if you guess like Pep, I'll do it between now and the end of the season. Everything's noted down, and whoever gets the most, there will be a prize. So while you're there, Paul,
I'd the actual performance was probably not as good as the result, if that makes sense. The second half performance was probably a 9, but the first half was probably a 7. So going off that, your 8's probably right, but it was a 10 out of 10 as in the result. That result was massive today.
And who was your man of the match?
Mahrez. No, am I joking? No,
take your first answer. Go on.
You've got to go with Foden. It changed the game, didn't it? It changed the game in the second half.
Well, we'll see. We'll see as the other guys say theirs. Stanislav, overall performance. Rate it.
I'd say 9.
And your man of the match, and why?
My man of the match is Foden, just because his last goal. Otherwise, I had Sterling and Gundogan also in the top 3 of the man of the match, but with the 2 assists and 1 goal and the phenomenal performance in the second half, I would put Foden.
I thought Alisson did 2 assists for us tonight.
You want to put that
conversation as well.
With regards to Foden's goal, though, the way he took it down on the outside of his foot, all one movement, the way he went inside and just hammered it past Alisson, I thought that was just exceptional. Fantastic. So we've got 3 Fodens so far. Alex, performance in your man of the match, my friend.
Yes, 8 out of 10. I think if you look at the context, winning at Anfield after 18 years and going, 10 points ahead of Liverpool, that's fantastic. That's a great thing. But I would still say 8 out of 10, and my man of the match is Foden. If Gundogan scored that penalty, I would probably consider him. But since he didn't, then it's Phil Foden.
Phil Foden. Stuart.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 for me as well.
Man of the match, and why?
First half, I was thinking along the lines of Stones. Thought he was absolutely ridiculously good. Everyone goes on about Diaz and that, but Stones didn't put a foot wrong again. But Foden changed the game. But when he went out wide, he changed the game. So Foden for me.
So we've got five Fodens so far. So that leaves me just one thing on John Stones though. There was a moment where it just there was a shot, a Liverpool player's shot, and it deflected slightly off John Stones and went back. The reaction from John Stones, I don't know if everybody caught John Stones' reaction after that. It was like that, and it was it went out for a corner, but you could see the the will to win from him. So that leaves me. I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna be a little bit controversial here. I'm gonna go for a 10 out of 10. The reason being, Klopp tried mind games against Pep, pre-match, didn't work. The way Pep set up, okay, we'll let them back in the game, etc. But I thought to go to Anfield, forget whether this supporters there or anything, to go there and forget all the excuses of injuries and stuff like that. 10 out of 10 for me, and I am going to go as my man of the match for Zinchenko for his second half performance. I thought the way he covered the danger areas, the way he got forward, the way he got stuck in, I think it was. I questioned that in the group before the match, but it seems that finally Pep is starting to outguess me and starting to do the right things. Well done, Pep. I think he had a look in the group before pre-match. So, guys, anybody want to add anything else?
Yeah, I would like to ask all of you guys about Cancelo's performance today, because personally, I thought that this wasn't a good game from him. I thought in the first half he wasn't that good. The second half, so. Just don't remember a huge performance from him. What about you?
I'd mirror exactly what you're saying, Alex. I thought exactly the same. Anne-Marie?
Yeah, I'd kind of agree, but I think you need to remember, the last few weeks he's maybe not been up against anybody great attacking him, whereas today he was up against Robertson, and Robertson and Alexander-Arnold, whichever side, they're both good at getting forward and getting a crossing. So I think it was a tricky game for Cancelo today.
What's your thoughts on that, Stan? Cancelo's performance tonight?
As I mentioned before, I think that he made an excellent first half. The second half, it wasn't so good, but all in all, I didn't think that he was underperformed. And by the way, Zinchenko made awful first half. The second half, he was much better, but in the first half he was awful, I think. And for me, the biggest point of the game was when Jesus came on and Foden played on the right hand side and Sterling on the left, and this decided the game. And I think that Pep pinpointed the right location of Phil. It's not in the center, because in the first half he didn't make anything. So if you play Phil Foden, you have to play it on the right or at the left at least.
Yeah.
But this was the most important thing to me.
Stuart, Cancelo's performance, surely we're allowed to let players have the odd little blip and stuff like that. I don't think he was terrible. I thought he had an average game by his standards. What do you think?
I think he would have had different instructions. Last few weeks playing against the sides, he's been coming in the middle and almost making an extra man in the middle to help break down a flat back 10. Today, he's probably been said, look, you need to make sure you're doing your proper job, and if you can, get forward. So I think sometimes it's not necessarily that he's played badly, it's just a different type of game that he's been asked to play.
Yeah. So the last word goes with you, Paul.
I pretty much just totally agree with what Stuart's just said, to be honest. You can't be this swashbuckling player every week. Sometimes you've got to do the dirty work. And I think he did that today. It was kind of, a Fernandinho-esque performance in a way. It's not all swashbuckling. He just did what he had to do, didn't he? And it proved it, because, there wasn't much coming in from his side. So, yeah, he didn't stand out today, but that doesn't necessarily mean he had a bad performance.
No, totally agree. Well, listen, guys, thank you for joining us. It's a happy evening for us, and in particular me, because I work with loads of Liverpool fans, so work will be a treat
Really?
in the morning.
You know that many people in Liverpool at work?
I
Works at the Dole office.
I work in Warrington, and it's rife with them, so it should be a little bit of fun tomorrow for myself. So thanks guys for joining us, and we'll do it real soon. Stay safe, everybody. Bye bye.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the thoughts of the guys from the group. If you want to get involved in the show, you know which way to contact us now. If you like what we're doing, then please share it. Enjoy the next few days, because I'm sure it's going to be fun in the media, and I'll speak to you all again. Stay safe. Bye bye.